and gentlemen, very warm welcome. You're watching another episode of Encounter. Like last week, we have a guest who is Mohanji, a philanthropist, but also a spiritual leader, and to many others, a friend. Mohanji, thank you for still being with us.
Thank you.
What is the mission and vision of the Mohanji Foundation?
We have Mohanji Foundations in many countries, and they all began with the clear awareness that it's all conglomeration of people coming together and setting it up. The idea was to bring awareness into the society, add value. I always tell people, it's in what you give to the world that is yours, not what you take from the world. Because whatever you take from the world, you leave behind when you die. But what you give to the world, it remains as your legacy. So the factor or the platform called Mohanji is providing that to people, the opportunity or the expression that they probably would not have had. So that is how all these foundations happen. Then we have ACT Foundation in many countries, 100% charity, only pure charity activity. That's about food, clothing, shelter, medicine, education, 5 aspects of human existence. Then of course they also support disasters, various things we have supported. ACT Foundation we started in 2003, it's 15 years now. In many countries they are doing their own thing, like their own in the sense like everything is focused on their requirement, the local requirement.
So did it begin in India?
First it started in India in 2003, and then simultaneously it started in Dubai. Then later on it was closed in Dubai because we couldn't handle the expenses there. And then many countries, America, UK, they have activities in Serbia, Macedonia, many countries.
You did not seek to do those things, but rather they came naturally to you?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I have never planned anything. No Mohanji Foundations, ACT Foundations, nothing I planned. I'll give you one example. Now I was in South Africa before I came here. And I was attending a television program of SABC, like a panel discussion. And I did not realize the problems, the calamities, the restlessness happening in the country. And when I heard about this, I thought it's not just sitting and meditating or making a few people enlightened that is more important. It should have a larger, more distinct change in the society. So I spoke to a few people, and within 10 days, these people came together, and based on my instructions or my teachings, we formed a World Consciousness Alliance. And that's, there are 2 members of parliament. There's a person from the Parliament of South Africa involved, and there is a business tycoon involved. The prince is involved, and the king, the Zulu king might be involved, and a group of people. So they all joined hands in such a short span of time. Within a week's time, it was launched. When I go to a place, I see the place, I know that these are the things to be done here. Or when it comes to me, I immediately implement it. And the only plan is that it should improve the lives of people. It should make a fundamental shift in their awareness, you know, from the basic emotions to the level of compassion, kindness, selflessness, unconditional love, sharing, caring, into that level, so that the idea of peace becomes tangible. It can be, it's experienceable. If something cannot be experienced, it's just a theory. I do not believe in teaching theories, because if I cannot give experience to people, I'm not worth it. So the transformation is the main thing here. Transformation is not conversion, not from moving from one religion to the other or doing one thing instead of another. That is all just a mind game. It's a shift from, I mean, this shift is because you're bored with something, you move to something else. But transformation is stability in existence. It's maturity, level of maturity. You are peaceful the way you are. You're happy and contented as you are. You're only looking out into the world and seeing yourself and say, what else can I do here? Leaving your signature on earth.
So what are the activities you're doing in Mauritius then? That's not your first time, right?
It's not our first time, and we are now setting up an association here, and we will be conducting these free meditations, which we always do in many countries. Then we are also trying to do, main seva or service activity that we do is giving food to people. And I believe in vegan lifestyle. because of the cruelty towards animals.
You're vegan?
I'm a vegan.
All right.
Yeah, and I suggest to vegan not only because of health reasons, but I realized that a lot of animals are killed, especially kids. The calves are killed for the sake of milk.
Yes, no.
So-
Cheese, dairy products is probably one of the main reasons for climate change in the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
But is vegetarian good enough?
Vegetarian because we are using dairy. Dairy is again, it's the dairy industry itself is.
But a lot of
harmful.
vegetarians don't use dairy products.
Yeah, that is vegan I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I recommend vegan, and based on that philosophy, many of our people are now following a vegan lifestyle, and we have some of our people have started vegan restaurants. There is a restaurant, Ahimsa vegan restaurant in London now.
Oh, I like the name.
Yeah, yeah. That also happened to me in a accidental way. I was driving, or means I was traveling from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. I couldn't eat anywhere. There was no vegetarian, no vegan available anywhere. All were meat. Then when I communicated this, then my next stop was Cape Town, South Africa. Came to Washington, flew to Cape Town, and then I got this idea. We should have a vegan something, an alternative. If somebody wants to have
Many
vegan.
people are becoming vegan nowadays.
So many people.
So many people.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
there's a change in the mind shift that's happening.
People are becoming aware of the murder happening in the dairy industry. It's an unseen thing. Every drop of milk has blood in it. That kind of
Yeah. But that's not only for the dairy products, but also for meat also.
Meat is a byproduct to the dairy industry as well.
Of course, but at the same, would you say this is also murder then?
It is. I mean, every animal, every bird on this earth have the same rights like us. I do not believe in the division of human rights and animal rights. I only talk about being right.
So what is the difference when you're vegan then?
At least we are reducing our impact on this whole earth. Means this harmful
So you're
impact.
taking I'll do that again. I bounced it, sorry. So is it better to be vegan rather than being vegetarian or eating non-veg and drinking milk?
It is health reasons for sure.
What are the health reasons?
And psychologically, this is a psychosomatic thing. Psychologically, no animal dies with happiness. They die, when they die, they have tremendous fear, tremendous helplessness.
And they release a certain toxins when they die.
into the muscles,
Yeah.
into the meat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that goes into human body. We see how much of anger, hatred, things going on in the world. People do not like each other. We talk about caste, country, community, color, and we fight. That is not our nature. Human nature, the very idea of being a human is being intelligent to the level where we express compassion all the time.
So what do you say to that person who tells you that you're also killing the plant when you pluck the vegetables?
Well, not necessarily. See, like imagine a tomato or a mango, whatever way. They are produced by the plant so that the fruit or the meat or whatever you call the plant, the product is produced in such a way because somebody will eat it and then the seeds will be thrown everywhere. The birds or animals, they eat. So that's like cutting your nails. No mango tree becomes unhappy when you pluck a mango because the seed goes somewhere and it falls and another tree happens. It's all continuation of species. Here, it's a murder of a species.
One is the cycle of life,
Yeah.
the other one is stopping life.
Yeah, correct. It's part of the cycle of life. Just like they have a central nervous system. They feel fear just like us. All of them, they know that they are being fed to be killed. All the while, they don't trust. See, we have lost this, we have disconnected from nature. That's the biggest tragedy of human existence. Our connection to nature was our biggest strength at one time. Today, it's complete disconnection. No animals or birds trust us. They all look at us as this devil species. A species which are untrustworthy. No, see, we look at a dog, our domestic dogs or cats. they have a pattern which they don't change. They don't change moods like we do. Sometimes we love, sometimes we hate. We see people flipping overnight.
For
Yeah,
very insignificant reasons sometimes.
insignificant reasons.
All right.
And it's very surprising. But animals, you see the consistency. They have a pattern and they follow the pattern, and you can depend on them. The domestic dog, when each time you talk to the dog or come home, he'll be happy to receive you.
Have you always been a vegan?
No, I have not been. This awareness came much late. I did not know about the cruelty in the dairy industry. I did not know that pregnant cows are slaughtered. All these awareness came later.
It's through the explosion of technology and the internet, right?
Technology, and so many people wrote to me. So I tried to help in every segment as possible.
Is being vegan a little bit in line with do good and good comes back to you many times? Is it a bit in line with the law of karma also?
Fundamentally, being a vegan is a statement. It's a statement that I care for Earth. That is the main thing for me, that I do care for Earth and every aspect of Earth, and I live it. And that is exactly what our people are doing it also. I mean, when they are getting inspired because of vegan or in the vegan lifestyle, they are telling I mean, it's like a message to the world or a statement to the world that they care. And that's the main thing, because animals consume a lot of our food, resources, and that is affecting the Earth.
100%.
And human population is growing, 7 billion, 7.5 billion, it's growing, and the hunger is increasing. Actually, even now, there is enough to feed every mouth. But if you have to kill an animal to eat, then it becomes imbalance.
Yes. Yeah.
So all those things. And I do not believe that we should kill anything for us to survive. You know, we are in, at least we have reached to a level where we can survive without disturbing, hurting anybody, any being. I don't believe in hurting any being. Even somebody talks about somebody, I tell one thing, you know, I don't want to know about another person. Why should I keep my mind contaminated? If somebody talks about you to me, I always tell them, you might have spent a lot of time to get this information about this person. It's very precious for you. Keep it. Don't give it to me.
Is it like the law of Buddha? Is it true? Is it kind?
Correct.
And
is it relevant?
Is it relevant? Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's a very good advice.
That's very important in today, because we are gossip mongers. We are more worried about people, what they do in their life, private life, etc., more than what we can do in this world.
And more about our own life. But this is what creates the noise in the mind at the end of the day.
Too many noises, unnecessary noises.
Tell us a bit about the ongoing activities for Mauritius by the Mohanji Foundation.
Mauritius, now we are planning to start the association, and then we will have our regular meditations. We already have a center. We are probably having more centers, and then we will do all our activities which we are doing in the other parts of the world. And then we also have this youth club, Mohanji Youth Club. Bringing that, again, I said, simple philosophy, be good, do good. It's not about teaching meditation to youth. It's making them purpose-oriented. See, if you look at the life of any great master, whether it is Lord Krishna, Buddha, what drove them is their purpose.
Yes.
The clarity of purpose. Clarity of purpose is the power, the fire.
The purpose to serve humanity. That was their
purpose to give more than what you take from the world.
Well, they hardly took. They were always giving.
They
right?
only give. Yeah. They hardly took. So that is exactly the real hardcore purpose of all our existence. If you believe in yourself, if you have faith in yourself, that's the only expression possible. What else can I do? So that is driven. So we are trying to bring youth to this level of awareness. First of all, self-sufficiency. Secondly, we are trying to tell the youth that you are everything. Whatever you are looking for outside are your own expressions, but you are everything. And if you do not connect to yourself, accept yourself, do well for yourself and for the world, life is wasted. Life is incomplete. So there is no point in competing and doing things in a haphazard way, fighting against something. Instead, concentrate on yourself, stabilize yourself and do your best, and then glory will come to you. Glory is always associated to consistency.
Yeah.
When you do something consistently with the conviction, glory comes to you. Usually, when mind is scattered over so many things, it's very difficult to be consistent. That is where, whether it is spirituality or even material aspects of life, that does not happen because we are not consistent. We keep changing our mind, and and also we get influenced by others' thoughts. Like, for example, somebody is going in this way. Somebody, "Hey, are you sure this is your path?" Then immediately we start thinking, "Oh, am I in the right path?" Instead, you should, okay, let me go. If it is wrong, oh, I'll take it. You know, if it is right, it's good. Like that, if we have conviction and faith, the right path, right destination, everything becomes right. Everything that liberates you or makes you expanded, more useful, more contented is good. Everything that binds you, makes you feel depressed, makes you feel of no value, you know, that is bad for you. This is the only difference I'm talking about. So we have all these things which we are planning to the youth club and all the activities we plan to do in Mauritius as well.
Oh, fantastic. And well, thank you and all the best for doing it.
Thank you.
My next question, if I want to start being, if I want to start if I want to start the self-realization aspect of myself, do I have to go to the Himalayas and start walking in a specific way, start being more conscious about specific things? Is that what I should do?
Well, the word itself, self-realization itself, is a very interesting word. Self-realization. You are realizing something which you have. It's a realization. So, going somewhere else cannot guarantee you that, because you're only shifting locations. Instead, you shift inside.
So it's already within you.
It's already, self is within you, and you suddenly become realized. I am the self. I am the self. I am everything, and the self in every being is me, or I'm related to all beings. There's no caste, no country, no culture, no color, no variation, no differences. The self is what I am, and the self is what I see. This is self-realization. So, self-realization is the awareness of being a unit, where mind, body, intellect, ego, spirit are all one.
With everyone also.
Yeah, everyone is the same. Like yourself is a complete unit. Nobody can say that somebody is higher than you, lower than you. Likewise, all are.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what they do in life. That has no value, because that is connected to what you wanted to do in life, or as per your constitution or your nature.
Mm-hmm.
But what you are is the most important thing, and that's about your expression and your conduct in this life. So, self-realization makes you complete and stabilized, and then you don't have to go anywhere, and there's no guarantee if you go anywhere it will happen.
No, it's the hope of something happening.
Correct. Yeah, because we think that something is coming from outside. It's not true. The role of a spiritual master is to be a perfect mirror, nothing more. I always believe that there is nothing anybody can teach anybody except life. Life can teach you great lessons and unforgettable lessons. But no human being can teach anybody anything on a permanent basis. And also the signs are that people are inconsistent in their learning. That's because they sometimes it doesn't suit them, or sometimes they think it's not necessary.
So how has your life changed over the past 10, 15 years then? From all the from the traumatic experience you had, and all the way to now?
In many ways, a lot of different ways. In fact, I was not planning to deviate from my work, because I was in my career and profession was good, and I liked shipping business. I liked the job. So I never realized that I will probably come out of it and do something else. But then it so happened that people started coming, and the pressure of meeting people and working was not happening, so I moved in. But one of the fundamental shocks I had was, I never realized at that time that people might become interested in my personal life and what I do, what I eat, where I sleep, all these things. But that was a feeling a bit too naked, you know, where everybody looks at you all the time, and then it's like a kind of uncertain face. But anyway.
So you were not aware that while living your own life and discovering yourself, you were also impacting people around you?
No, I was, I mean, I was doing my job. I was delivering whatever I could, but that's about it. But then this aspect of being an extroverted personality was a bit of a uncomfortable phase for me. But then if that has to be done, it will be done. So that is one thing. And in the ways it changed was that I am working much more than I used to work earlier, when I used to work for a salary. It was there was a time, now it is 18 hours almost a day, different countries, different places. I meet people, I conduct programs, and it's continuous back to back. So hardly any time for me to sit down, rest, or take a holiday. I have not taken any holidays for a long time. So, but what drives, as I said earlier, the purpose, the higher purpose, what I have to do, it's driving me. Another thing is that whatever you do, we have to face criticism.
Yes.
And also, not just criticism, some are very, very fierce criticism. Sometimes they try to malign your name using some things and say that
one way or the other.
One way or the other, to slow you down. Then the challenge is to jump this hurdle and still do. So whenever I have experienced it, whenever we go on a shift the gear and try to move forward in a particular way, some kind of a block comes. It's created. Then you have to jump over to move
But that
further.
makes you stronger, isn't it?
Makes you stronger, and that's inevitable, and also and so continue. But what I also realized in the last, actually I came into all a full-time work in the world, social work in the world, from 2012. So it's now 6 years completed. So what I realized is that those who really believe in you and those who love you, they will not be affected, they will not leave you. But these people who are coming against and trying to talk against you, they work as filters. They are filters. So the people who are unsure, they get filtered out. And then the people coming together, we are all moving with clarity, moving for a purpose. So everything has a value, in a way positive value in life. So those who are affected, like one statement which I like to always remember, there was a great master called Ramana Maharshi in India, in Arunachala. And one person came and told him, you know, Guruji, some people are talking very bad things about you. So Ramana Maharshi always used to sit with his eyes closed. And so he opened his eyes and looked at him and asked, are you affected? So definitely he was affected, otherwise he will not tell it, you know.
Yes.
So he said, no, Guruji, I love you, I am not affected. So Ramana Maharshi was sitting like this. Then he again opened the eyes. Are you sure? Then he said, Guruji, I love you. You know, I can't leave you. I'm really not affected. Then he said, then forget it.
All right.
So that level we have to handle our life, each moment. Okay, this is happening. Is it like you said, like Buddha said, is it relevant? Is it important? And if it is not, just discard it. Don't even think. So anything personal or impersonal has no value except purpose.
Yeah.
The larger purpose is to change the frequency of the earth, if you can, as much as you can.
So we all have to take responsibility to change the frequency of the earth. It's not the other person who will do it. We all have to assume our responsibilities.
100%. And also it has to start from us.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So before wrapping up this episode, I like to do that with my guests on Encounter. I ask many questions, very short questions, and you tell me the first thing that comes on your mind. I call it the rapid fire round.
Okay.
This is always my first question. Are you a morning or evening person?
A morning person.
Tea, coffee?
Tea.
Who are your inspirations?
Who are?
Your inspirations.
My inspirations. Masters like Dattatreya, Babaji, Sai Baba.
Your favorite books?
Sai Satcharita.
Favorite movie?
There are many favorite movies, but one thing that comes in my mind is Ben-Hur.
Oh, old is gold.
I have a reason for that.
Why is that?
You know, they never showed Jesus' face in the film. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody knows his face. Michelangelo, who drew Jesus, I think it's Michelangelo, who drew Jesus, Leonardo da Vinci or somebody, anyway, the painter. That is the face which people are connected to. But in Ben-Hur, they only showed his backside.
It's open to your imagination. So it's easier to connect. Also. Wow, well said.
Yeah.
So music, what's your favorite music?
Beatles. I love Beatles. I love Elvis Presley. U2.
Oh, Bono.
Bono. I also like Bryan Adams a lot.
Of course, romantic songs. So what are your hobbies?
Right now, my greatest hobby is to improve the lives of people. That's my passion.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for sharing a lot of your wisdom with us and giving us your time, and also sharing who you are, which is probably the most important. So thank you again for being with us for this second episode. And again, I wish you all the very best going forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this second episode with Mohanji. If you have any inquiries, send us an email. It's encounter@mbc.net.mu. Thank you very much for being with us. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week with another episode.